But there was one question I wanted to ask you before we get into the crux of your win. Your first ever post on
You're
Instagram was
watching
Fabricio
Calf Kick
Verdum.
Sports.
Yeah,
Talk
tell me about that.
talk
Tell me about that story. I'm a huge fan of Fabricio Verdum, and I just wanted to know what your
Well,
first interaction was like with him.
man, I loved him. There was a seminar of him in Fortaleza, Brazil, which is my city. That was the same year I actually came here, if I'm not wrong. The same year I came to the USA, and having him there teaching us some Jiu-Jitsu, he was amazing. He's a really nice person, and he gave us so much attention and a lot of techniques, and man, he's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like he was a big influence in terms of going forward in your fighting career. Is that, would you say that's correct?
Well, yes, I mean, growing up, we always would watch him and say like "Vai cavalo" in Portuguese and stuff.
Hey,
So definitely one of some influencers there.
100%, 100%. But look, incredible performance at CFFC. Another rear naked choke against a really game opponent in Marissa Ellis. Now, Marissa Ellis is very dangerous, you know, insane KO power. Were you a bit nervous going into that one?
Honestly, when I got this fight, I was like, let's do it. I know she has heavy hands. I've seen her record. I've seen her amateur record. I saw that probably her longest fight that she won, it was like 36 seconds. So
Yeah.
she does have some power. But also I'm never afraid of heavy hands, and especially because I watch almost all of her fights, and I'm like, okay, she has heavy hands, but I have a strategy, and I can move around, and she never really got a girl that would move in front of her and that is not afraid of power. So that didn't make me nervous, but it made me go forward and say like, hey, let's do it then. Whenever she comes with the heavy hands, I'm gonna shoot on her, and I'm
Yeah.
sure. Plus, I have a sister. She was my training partner. She's been my training partner forever. And man, I can tell she has heavy hands. And I'm used, but I train hard every day for that.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like you were so experienced as a striker. I was watching the fight and I was like, you know, just generally a lot of grapplers, they start panic shooting. You know, they get scared of the stand up,
Right.
especially if someone has got a lot of power. But you look comfortable in there. You're landing that jab, you know, you're staying on the outside. And then as soon as she thought it was just a striking battle, then you went for the takedown, which I thought was really well done. Is that
Yeah.
something that you train for in camp over and over?
Yep. So what people doesn't really know about me, and it's what I've been mostly talking about, is that when I first started martial arts, I actually started on Taekwondo and Muay Thai.
Oh,
So
damn.
definitely hate Jiu-Jitsu. That was not a thing for me. I used girls, and I was 9 when I started, and I only went to Jiu-Jitsu when I was 12. So from then, like, I kind of like it, but I was definitely a Muay Thai girl. And then
Yeah.
2021, I started competing mostly Jiu-Jitsu because I wouldn't get really any fights, so we was too hard. And on Jiu-Jitsu, man, like, you register yourself for competition, you there, you fight, and that's it.
Yeah.
So my Jiu-Jitsu kind of, they were like this. My Jiu-Jitsu went right up here. So I started posting on social media. People would see me, oh, four-time world champion. So it's a good thing that they only think I'm a grappler only. But you know, I've been I've been training for my whole life, striking as well, and I've been definitely improving on that, like training more striking now, working on my boxing, and I spar really good with Leo Capoeira. He's one of the greatest training partners at American Top Team. He gave me a hard time on my training camp, so I'm like, I was ready for it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, going back to that point as well, I thought that's really interesting. You said you didn't even like jujitsu at the beginning. Did you have any respect for it? Because I've spoken to fighters in the past and they go, yeah, I trained in striking. And I was like, If you just take me down, I'll just stand up. What are you gonna do with that? What are you gonna do with that? And when you started training in jiu-jitsu, did you think, okay, this is actually a lot harder than initially, as I thought?
I mean, I was very young, so
Yeah.
eh, man, I was very like, I like my long nails. If I start jujitsu, I'm not gonna have long nails, you know. But one day I did jujitsu with the gi on because I thought it was really gross doing it without the gi because then too much touch and stuff. And I was like, that's not for me. But then I started training more and more, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is for me, like 100%. I love it. And definitely, I can say today that in between striking and grappling, my goal is always gonna be go there and submit or, if I can get the knockout, I'll get the knockout. But
Yeah.
I'm always looking for submissions and finishing the fight.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, is the rear naked choke your signature move? But just going by what you said, yeah, you're gonna just take whatever, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I had the same question yesterday on another interview, and I mean, now I can say it's my signature move because on 2022 Worlds, I did that on my first match, and then right after that, I did my amateur MMA debut, and I finished third round with rear naked choke, and then on September last year. Bro fight, real naked choke, and now this
Yeah.
one, rear naked choke, so I'm like, "Okay." And I mean, it's amazing that I know my opponents know that I'm going for it, but I do it anyways, you know?
Yeah. It's like the Habib thing, innit? You know what he's gonna do. You know
Yep,
exactly what he's gonna do, but you can't stop it. Yeah.
exactly.
That's awesome. Um, what was your fire influence growing up? Like, was there any fires that you particularly got influenced with?
My sister,
Yeah?
she's
Yeah, she's good.
my biggest
Really good.
100%. We started training together very early, but because she was older than me, she started fighting first and stuff. And I would always look at her like as my inspiration, always until today. I always tell her like, "Hey, I don't tell her very often because siblings thing,
Yeah, I know.
but she's definitely my biggest inspiration in this sport. I think she's a amazing fighter. She's so well-rounded. Her striking is amazing. She has an amazing grappling, and for me, she's the best in the world.
Did you ever have a sibling rivalry growing up where your parents are like, why can't you be more like this person? You know what parents do. Why can't you be more like your sister? Did you ever get that?
I mean, we're not so much like far away apart with our ages, so
Yeah.
we kind of like almost same. Like, obviously, she's personality is so much different than mine, but we do the same thing every day, you know. We're like best friends. We do fight a lot sometimes, but now like we're more friends than siblings, and that helps a lot. So it, I respect her. She respects me. Sometimes we deal with some other stuff, and then we always like, I love you, you love me. That's it. We need each other, and we're here for each other.
Definitely. Definitely. I'm gonna ask a random question now. If you could have any superpower in the world, what would it be?
I think everybody has ever thought about that, but I'm always like, "Ah, man, I'm very curious." So I don't know. Sometimes I would like. I don't know if I would like to read people's mind, but maybe.
Oh, that might be more of a curse than a superpower, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm 100%, but man, uh, I don't know. It's a crazy thing because when you think about superpowers, you think about flying, you think about reading
Yeah.
people's mind, you think about like becoming clear and transparent. It's crazy. I don't know. I'm not sure.
One good one for fighting would probably be, without it being too rigged, yeah, is just unlimited cardio. How good would that be?
That that's a good one, especially because I have to work. Like every day I run, so crazy. And then sometimes when after fight you eat too much junk and then you go back to training, you're really like, dang, like several days of like cardio, and then one day I eat junk and you're already like feeling bad. I'm like, shit.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've heard this time and time again. You can't do this lifestyle part time. You know,
Right.
you gotta fully commit to it 100%.
Always.
How was it fighting? I mean, I know you made your pro debut on UFC Fight Pass. Was that a lot of pressure? And obviously, the second fight was on UFC Fight Pass as well. Is that a lot of pressure, or is this something you're kind of getting used to at this point?
Um, I wouldn't say I get used to it. But on the day of the fight, like I don't really think about all the stuff, especially because competing jujitsu made me um get used to pressure. Um, but I do love the way UFC Fight Pass is like posting me and stuff. I get really happy, and I've been telling my parents, I'm like, I think I'm never gonna get used to it. I just feel like so special now, and I love their like putting me out there. I mean, I for one side, I also understand that I do deserve it because I've been working so hard, and I do show my best there. I go there and I always give a show. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, 100%. I mean, all your fights have been exciting, the ones that I've watched. So I'm definitely looking forward to the next one. How kind of active would you like to be this year?
Man, honestly, I took no injuries, none of my
Yeah. Nothing, yeah.
so I'm like ready for the next one. I asked for the belt for Cage Fury at the end of the fight, and I think they should give me. I know there's one card in June, and I'm hoping to be on that one fighting for the belt 100%. And after that, I do want to defend the title, and I don't know, maybe at the end of the year, be on a bigger event or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, sky's the limit. You're looking amazing at such a young age as well. Really looking forward to kind of the future of Emily Martins. But look, we got one final question for you, Emily. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
5 years. Okay. 5 years. In 5 years, I'll for sure be a world MMA professional champion. I'm 100%. And man, I hope I'm having fun and living my best life. And I would say like I would do everything I have in mind as a professional MMA fighter and as also a human. One of my biggest purpose uh in life is talk about Jesus, and everywhere I go, that's even bigger than like loving fighting and stuff. I do it because I love it, but my biggest purpose on this is being on big stages and being able to talk about it for many and many people. So that's probably what's gonna happen. I know God's timing is perfect, and I know He's gonna do it.
Thank you so much, Emily. You're amazing. Again, as I said, really looking forward to the bright future that you've got ahead of yourself. But look, we're going to give you the final word. Tell the folks where they can find you. Plug anything that you'd like to plug. Go for it, Emily. It's your spotlight.
All right, guys, thank you so much for all the love and support you guys been giving me.
Thank you.
I love everybody who's doing that for me. I feel so special. And if you haven't followed me on Instagram, and also I'm also on TikTok, it's the same name. It's Galega BJJ. Um, yeah, God bless you. Jesus is coming back, so make sure you go back to Him. And yeah, hope to see you guys soon.
100%. Thank you, Emily.
Thank you so much.